Hello beautiful dragon people and welcome. It's me, your pal Vero, here to bring you some more answers to your questions in the final part of this Q&A. Well, because you kind of answered my first question, here's another one. If you were Callum and you had two choices, one, to time travel to the past and save your stepdad, or two, go to the past and see if 𝐅𝐸𝐴 is alive, which would you choose? Oh, now that is a really interesting question. I think that Callum would definitely go back and save his stepdad. I think it's more important to him to preserve the things that he loves rather than destroy the things that he hates. So I think he's definitely going to go back and save 𝐅𝐴 if he could. Where are you from? What's your real name? How was your Thanksgiving? And who is the best character in the Dragon Prince in your opinion? Okay, so where am I from? That's classified. my real name, also classified. And I don't really have a best character per se. Oh, but my favorite's definitely raelem, and then my second favorite is my boy 𝐅𝐸𝐴. One of these days my real name's probably gonna come out, but for now I'm kind of enjoying this whole Hannah Montana thing I've got going with like the alternate personality. I dig it. What regions and or cultures do you think the Earth, Tidebound, and Star-Touched elves will be based on? You know, I don't really know what they're going to be based on, to be honest. Like, I don't even know what the cultures the current elves are based on. I guess maybe there's some Mayan influence with the Sunfire elves, but I don't really know if there's like a perfect like cultural translation for the Moonshadow elves. They seem to be kind of a mix of like a bunch of different things, so I could not possibly hope to anticipate what the other elf cultures are going to be like. Sorry. I guess that's not really an answer to your question. Let's see. They're all going to be exactly like those traveling hippie people from Avatar: The Last Airbender. They all travel around and sing songs. All of them. All the other ones. Hello, first off, I love your channel. Aww. Makes me laugh every time, and I'm a huge fan of the Dragon Prince. I've got two questions. What was your favorite TV show as a kid? And if you could name a dragon in the Dragon Prince, what would you name them? Well, I had a lot of favorite shows growing up. I was a big fan of Cartoon Network. So Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog were among my favorites, but I was and still remain a very strong SpongeBob SquarePants fan, well into my old age and well into where it is cringy that I like it as much as I do. And if I could name a dragon in the Dragon Prince, I would probably name him David Wallace. What are your favorite relationships, platonic, familial, romantic, etc. in the show? Well, I mean, I of course really like raelem and Callum's relationship. I also really enjoy seeing 𝐅𝐸𝐴 and 𝐅𝐴's friendship on screen, and I would love to see more of that. I would love to see like a flashback episode with the two of them when they were much younger, perhaps when they first met, and we could get some insight into why they became friends. I think that would be really cool. Hi, how and why did you get so into the Dragon Prince? But please don't say because it's awesome and the best. You've mentioned in the past that you know some Russian and that you lived in Mexico. What were those international experiences like? Do you have a Hogwarts house? If so, which is it? Well, it was really the characters of the show that drew me in, and especially, I love story structure and stuff like that, and the way that the story is just set up and the way that it plays out is just, it's really good. I also really like the complex dynamics of their constantly shifting relationships. I thought it was really interesting how a character could go from a love interest to a villain like Claudia, and an antagonist like Soren, who I'm hating one season, becomes one of my favorite characters by the end of the second season. Is so sympathetic. I really liked that. So definitely the characters of the show. And yes, I used to go out with someone who spoke Russian, so I learned a little bit just by proximity, and I wanted to be able to have some conversations with the extended family. And Mexico was an interesting experience. It wasn't a very good time in my life, so I honestly didn't enjoy it too much. I've traveled all over the world though. I've lived in Italy, I've been to Germany, England, Scotland, Austria, and Mexico, and the United States, and back in 2018 I went to Australia. I was going to go this year to another country, but unfortunately my country has been shut down, so I can't go anywhere. I really hope to get out and travel some more real soon though. What do you think when Callum and raelem are going to reunited after through the moon? 1. Before she finds Viren. 2. During the fight. 3. Where Callum will maybe get his hands on a very familiar silver coin. If you have any other ideas, feel free to share it. That's a really interesting question, and I could really go with any of these, but I think that it would maximize drama to have Callum on the cusp of finding her, only for her to be gone by the moment that he gets to her, because she's been turned into a coin and taken away by Viren. What's your favorite ship in the Dragon Prince? Also, love you, Vero. Aw, thanks. I appreciate you so much. My favorite ship is raelem. I know it's not the most exotic, but it's the truth. I'm just kind of basic like that. 2, if you don't mind. You can only taste 1. Moonberry Surprise or Jelly Tarts. And the second, what kind of elf would you be? I don't know what Moonberry Surprise would taste like, but I imagined it's some kind of pie, so I'd probably go with that, because if it's a pie, I'm gonna enjoy it. And I don't know what kind of elf I would be. I don't really think any of the elf races that we've seen so far really mesh with my personality. So if we ever meet like a energetic hyper elf race, that's probably gonna be the one I end up being. Warning! Minor spoiler for the novel, Book 1 Moon. Rayla says something along the lines of, we all have stereotypes about each other. I've even heard that the humans feast on the flesh of animals, indicating that elves, or at least moonshadow elves, don't. So why did Lujane's buffet in Season 2 Episode 1 include poultry and ham? I know it was really grubs, but Rayla didn't know that, and she didn't seem surprised. Is it just inconsistency? That's actually really interesting. I hadn't noticed that little detail. It could simply be a continuity error, but if I had to guess, maybe it's because, she's been living alone on the mountain and she's more familiar with humans than the isolated Moonshadow elves that live in 𝐀𝐧𝐝 are. But maybe that's a better question for the co-creators. Maybe we can ask them that during the next Q&A. If Runan comes out of the coin, will he still have his arm? What happened to his binding? That's a really good question, and it's funny that you asked that, because I'm actually in the process of making a theory video about that. So you're lucky, you're gonna get a whole video just about your question. What do you think bait would actually taste like? I get the sense that he should taste good, because that's what they said in the show, and that he's probably really juicy meat. But I get the sense that the spirit from beyond the grave would make the meat taste bad just because of his sheer grumptitude. So this is a weird question, but I love it. What other TV shows do you enjoy? I enjoy a lot of shows. As far as animation goes, I have been enjoying The Dragon Prince, of course, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and We Bare Bears. I'm currently watching through Gravity Falls for the first time, which I've never seen, and I'm enjoying it immensely. Still on my list to watch, though, I still need to watch She-Ra, and I need to finish watching 𝐀𝐧𝐝. Do you think that it was a necessity for Callum to do dark magic in order to connect to the Sky Primal? Personally, I would say yes. An arcanum is defined as the secret of the primal, or its meaning according to Lujane. As much as the connection was forged by an understanding of the Sky Arcanum, with him being a human, I believe that the connection only formed once he had actively rejected dark magic. But what do you think? I think right off the top, I kind of mostly agree with you. That's a really interesting observation. That could very well be the case. I don't know if it was going to be necessary for him to literally, in the universe of the show, use dark magic. But I definitely think that he needed to kind of cross that line and choose to reject it from a narrative standpoint for him to achieve that newfound power. One of the big things about what's so bad about dark magic is that it's a shortcut that people are using. They use power that's not theirs, and they do not have the wisdom or the right to use it. So by him rejecting dark magic and choosing to take the harder path of learning the Sky Primal, he has truly earned his power and is worthy to use it. Could you please do a raelem video? I like to think that most of my videos are kind of raelem videos, but I suppose I could. Well, what kind of video would you want me to make? Anybody can answer this, by the way. What kind of video would you like me to make, as a raelem themed video? My question is, in the future, are you going to make videos on any other animated series? I'm glad you asked that. I've actually thought a lot about that. I think that one day I would definitely like to make more videos about other animated shows, but at the current time, I'm kind of the only Dragon Prince YouTuber, and I'm actually quite content with having that title of, you know, the Dragon Prince YouTuber. So I feel like if I started to make other videos covering other topics, I would kind of lose that title, and I don't really know if I want to give that up. I'm kind of happy having it. I feel that one day I'll probably make another channel though, and on that channel I will cover all kinds of other different animated properties. But I think that this channel here, the Vero channel, is going to be exclusively covering just Dragon Prince content. But great question, thanks for asking. And Gagapal88 asks, can I be the last question?
Yes, you can.
Alrighty, well that was the first Q&A. Thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. I will be doing another community post here very soon, I'm sure, and we're gonna have some more questions. So all of you guys who have more questions or didn't have an opportunity to ask in this Q&A, keep your eyes out for that. I'll let you guys know when that's coming up on my Twitter and my Facebook. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm off to rewatch the Dragon Prince. See ya.